One of the most well-known and possibly one of the most misunderstood characters from Greek mythology is Medusa. Although the name Medusa conjures up ideas of a hideous, inhumane monster, this was not always the case. So, who was Medusa truly, and how did she come to be portrayed as the bad guy? Together, let's find out straight away. Greek mythology's primordial sea gods Phorcys and Ceto had a daughter named Medusa. She was one of 3 sisters and was born on the island of Sarpedon. She was, however, mortal, making her susceptible to the whims of the gods and the laws of nature, unlike her siblings. Beautiful Medusa was well known for her grace throughout the country. She was actually very much coveted by many men since she was so alluring. Nevertheless, Medusa chose to dedicate herself to the goddess Athena, foregoing any attention from men and taking the chastity vows that were expected of Athena's priestesses. Despite the fact that even the goddess Athena had some jealousy over Medusa's beauty for a while, things were tranquil for her for a while. She cherished her position in the temple and delighted in her straightforward responsibilities. But as soon as Poseidon saw Medusa, everything changed, and things swiftly got out of hand. Poseidon was drawn to the Medusa because of her remarkable beauty, but it might also have been that he saw her as a chance to upset Athena, one of his fiercest rivals in the pantheon. Or it could have been a combination of both. Regardless, Poseidon began the process of claiming Medusa as his own. There are numerous versions of the myth, some of which assert that Medusa was seduced by Poseidon and subsequently abandoned her devotion to Athena in favor of him after falling in love with him. According to the more popular story, Medusa stayed devoted to the goddess and was kidnapped by Poseidon against her choice. However, the conclusion of both tales, Medusa being ravaged by Poseidon inside the Athena temple, remains the same. The events have upset Medusa, who asks Athena for comfort and assistance. In the most popular version of the story, Medusa is the innocent victim and is ignored by Athena. The goddess is enraged with her priestess because she is no longer a virgin, allowed herself to be profaned inside her temple, and is currently expecting Poseidon's progeny. Athena completely blames Medusa and punishes her by converting her into a monster, a dreadful beast with bronze hands and wings and a poisonous nest of snakes for hair, a punishment only a god is capable of. She has the ability to instantly transform anyone who stares into her eyes into stone. A fatal ability, but also a harsh curse that will keep her alone forever. Her 2 sisters attempt to defend Medusa, but this only results in their own punishment because Athena's ferocious anger is unabated. They change as well, becoming into the terrifying Gorgon sisters of myth. On the island of Sarpedon, Medusa seeks refuge from the terrible injustice that has befallen her. Hating Poseidon for what he has done, Medusa is forever wounded by Athena's betrayal, the goddess to whom she has dedicated her life. She gradually undergoes metamorphosis as her personality starts to resemble the nasty monster that is her physical manifestation. She is no longer constantly sought after by men for her beauty, but rather as a trophy to be hunted. Her hatred intensifies to the point when her inner self fully reflects her outside self. One of the results of her makeover. She kills everyone who tries to hurt her, which further enhances her notoriety and mythology. That is, until a hero shows up to take back her head. Perseus. Perseus stands out from the other hunters because he got divine assistance, which makes him unique. Perseus was able to directly approach the gods for assistance in his mission to slay Medusa because he was Zeus's son. He obtains a bronze shield with mirrors from Athena. He receives winged sandals from Hermes. Hephaestus gives him a powerful sword, and then Hades gives him an invisible helm. With these divine gifts at his disposal, Perseus sneaks into Medusa's cave and defeats her by killing her with the blessed sword while utilizing the mirrored shield to see without looking directly at her. To Perseus' surprise, as soon as her head was removed, the 2 Poseidon offspring who had been inside her sprung forth, fully developed. Pegasus, a famous white-winged steed from Greek mythology, was the first, and he was quickly followed by Chrysaor, a man who was born holding a golden sword. The body of Medusa is found by her 2 sisters as he tries to leave the island, and they send out a wail that reverberates across the landscape. They pursue Perseus relentlessly, but he manages to escape with the Medusa's head, which, although being removed from her body, retains its ability to petrify by donning Hades' invisibility helm. The head of Medusa would later be used by Perseus in other trials, including his fight and victory over the Titan Atlas and the sea monster Cetus. In the end, Perseus completes the circle of injustice by giving Athena the head of Medusa back. The Aegis is the name given to Athena's shield once she secures the head to it. In an odd twist, Medusa transformed into a symbol of protection that would help many people in need when she was mounted on the shield of her betrayer. Even more, her blood would be utilized as a medication and a poison with the capacity to both sustain life and take it away. One of the most well-known mythological creatures, but also, as we've seen, one of the most poorly understood. According to the most popular interpretation of the tale, Medusa's only transgression was her blind dedication to the gods, who once again demonstrated their own disregard for the moral principles they zealously upheld in the eyes of their devotees. It is a myth that can be interpreted in a variety of ways, many of which are still applicable in today's society. It is evident, however, that the narrative of Medusa, whose beauty and purity were converted into rage and hatred, has always caught the attention of intellectuals, artists, and academics alike and will do so for a very long time to come.